So today we will be continuing the discussion which we were having yesterday, the architecture. So we have gone through a theoretical aspect of the architecture where we have seen in diagram that how um, SAP systems, the core component of the SAP system, are connected between each other, and how they are serving the request from the user. The same thing which will be today we'll be seeing same thing in practical, and post this class I will be sharing the class recording, and I'll also start giving you access in the systems which I am right now showing all the things, so that you can log in into the system and try out whatever we have discussed and learned in this class. Okay. So in today's class, we have, so as I communicated previously, that our training landscape is not only one system, but it changes over time depending upon the scenario and topic we are learning. So for today's topic, we have three servers. One is the first one is a Windows server, which is probably Windows 2019 server, and it has database and um, application installed in the same server. It's similar to this slide which we have discussed yesterday. That the standalone server means putting both the things in the same box. Um, so SAP application and DB both are in the same box. Okay, so that's what we are first going to see. So as it is a Windows server, I'm going to log in using the remote desktop connection. Just give me a moment, guys. I've got a Amazon delivery asking for what? Hello? Hello? Hmm. अच्छा बोल 875242 5242. Okay, check. Fine, thank you. Okay, so the first server is a Windows server which has ECC system installed in it and also DB in it. And second server is a combination of two server actually. One is application server and this is DB server, and both the server is on SUSE Linux. And they in Windows server we have Oracle database and ECC system, and in second setup I have um, NetWeaver as application and HANA DB as database. So I'll show you both and gone through the I'll go through the topics and concepts which we have learned yesterday theoretically. So let me first log in into the ECC system, which is a Windows server. The IP password. I'm logging in using SID ADM user. SID ADM. So yesterday we have discussed about SID, right? This system SID is ECD, and this is called SID ADM user. So SID means ECD and then ADM. This is a standard user created in each system when we install a system. That's what I'm using. Okay. So here I am. You are able to see the server and server UI, right? Uh, on my screen. Okay. So here I have logged in into the server. This is a Windows server. I'm going with Windows server because in Windows you can see things visually. So for the first time, it would be a little bit easier to understand as soon as we you know are you know got our confidence built, we will shift to the Linux system. So in this Windows Server, database and application both are installed. And when you install a SAP system, there is a special piece of software automatically installed. It is called SAP Management Console. So if you double click, it will open up and it looks like this. So here, what are the things you will see? First, you see the database. Then these are instances. Instance, first instance and second instance. And as we told yesterday that every instance has a number. So this is the instance. This is instance number 10, and this is instance number 11. So similar thing you can confirm from the waste level as well. So if I log in into waste level and go into the E drive now, during installation you can install the SAP in any drive. It's not that you have to install in E drive. I just during installation I choose E drive. That's what I'm going into the E drive. There you will have a folder called USR SAP. This USR SAP folder is common for whether you are in Windows or Linux. And then there you have a SID folder. So the location is USR SAP SID. And inside the SID folder, you have four folders. One is central instance folder. It starts with ASCS and then 11, the instance number of the ASCS central instance, and then dialog instance. D, it starts with D and then instance number. Then one is a system folder and then name folder. We will come later that what is the significance of those two folders. Right now, the the home location of a SAP system is USR SAP SID. If it is a Windows system, then a drive comes before that. And inside the system folder, we have instance folders. One must be central instance, which start with ACS, and there might be one or minimum one or multiple dialog instance. Same thing you can verify from here as well. We have uh, instance 00 and instance 11, which is exactly like this. And if you open up yesterday's slide, you will see that these dialog instance basically, which is D10 in our case here, these dialog instance host four processes: this plus work process, IGS, ICM, and gateway. And central instance hosts two processes: message server and NQ server. So if I now go back to here and go to the process list, I'll see that exactly those processes are there. So this plus work, IGS, gateway, ICM. So if I see from the waste level, by seeing the name of the folder, I can understand that my instance number 11 is central instance and 10 is the dialog instance. Why? I can see that D and SCS. But from SAP MMC, I cannot understand which one dialog, which one is central instance, right? Only way I can see is by seeing the process list. In process list, I can see the um, this plus work process, LCM process, and in the process list of the central instance, I see the message server and NQ server. One more hint is as these process, as this dialog instance contains ICM process, here you will have a ICM administration option. Also, you will have some couple of different options as this is a dialog instance because these services offers some additional features. So that's how we understand um, how that's how we understand that how many instances they are, what is the instance number of the central instance, what is the instance number of dialog instance. These are very fundamental knowledge. This will be common across all the landscape, all the systems. So it should be absolutely clear. Okay, now yeah, I'm just about to come on that as well. So if you go to task manager, and here you can see all the processes running. So this is that gateway IGS process, this is ICM process, then there should be message server and NQ server as well. This is the message server. So all the processes are obviously running in the waste level. Otherwise, how would you see? Now, um, these, if you go back to our screen, you will see that user send request. So in broader terms, user send request to the dialog instance. That's why in the SAP GUI also, whenever you mention the dialog instance number, right? But in the dialog instance, which process really received this request? This process, the process is this plus work process. So if you go here and try to see that this plus work is running, and inside here also you can see that this plus work is running, right? Now, then what? Then does this plus work does the actual work? The answer is no. This plus work is called uh, above dispatcher. Okay. Now these plus work process do just receive the request and hand over to other disk plus work processes. So there are multiple disk plus work process running in the system, and those processes will do the actual work. Though the exe file is same, there is no different exe file for work process. There is no different exe file for the above dispatcher. It is the same exe file running in the system, manifesting the different kind of work. So if I log in into the system, you go to the above work process table, you see that there are different kind of work process running. So there are one, two, three, four, five, six dialog work process, one update work process, three background work process, one spool work process, and one update to work process. So there are five type of work process running. One, two, three, four, five. Five type of work process running. Those all are basically this plus work. How would you know? If you go to the task manager, I'll just sort by the name. Let's see. So here you can see that all those work processes are basically same exe file, right? Though they are working as different, they are working for different purpose. So dialog work process, what they do, they receive users request from the SAP GUI and they calculate and compute and respond. That's what dialog do. Update work process, what they do, if there is any bulk update happens in the database by the user itself or any system process, that done through that update work process. It does not occupy a dialog work process. Also, when you run anything in system, in SAP system, obviously there is a program running, right? So that program is run by the user manually, right? But there are cases when system wants to run some program automatically. That's called background job. So those background job or background programs are run through the BTC work process. So basically, if anything is running in the system automatically, any program, they will not occupy dialog work process. They will be only occupying BTC work process. Why? Because those might be critical. So that's why, to ensure that the work process is free for that program to run, that's why there are separate kind of work processes there. Fuel work process is for printing. So if any dialog work process, any user is triggering any print or any background work process running and that program triggering a print, so that would be executed by full work process. Then if there is any, we have already a update work process, right? This is an interview question also. So in work process, we see update and update to work process. What is the difference between two? The difference is both do the same thing, right? Both update the database. Bulk update database handled by update work process. Only update work process will handle the priority request. Update to uh, handles the non-priority request. For example, you are saving a um, maybe updating salary of 100 employee or updating leave calendar for 500 employee. That is a critical update. It has business importance. It has an impact on business. This kind of thing will be updated by update work process. And let's say maybe there is something going on in the system and there are log being written in the database. So writing log in the database is not that critical as compared to the business process, right? So those kind of thing will be done by update work process. So uh, if you have been asked in the interview that tell me the difference between update and update work process, your answer should be that update and update to both does the same thing, that is bulk update in the database, but update handles priority updates, update to have update to handles non-priority process, right? So here you can see that we have 13 work process, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 0 to 12. That means 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How it is 12? Am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a mystery. Is any number missing in between? 5 is missing, right? Okay. I don't know why. Anyway, so here 12 number of work processes running. Okay, here let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we have one work process extra, right? So what is that work process? That is the ABAP dispatcher. So that's why yesterday's class I have told you that I am just running through the slides, but I will coming again back to back this slide to confirm the understanding. So you have number of work process running. EXE is same disk plus work, but you have one disk plus work EXE running as only to dispatch the load. So user requesting anything, it will dispatch. So that dispatching is done by disk plus work process. So especially that disk plus work process is called um, this plus work process is called ABAP dispatcher, and these ones are called work process. Okay, and you can identify that as well. So here, um, I don't know in Windows if we can identify that, but in Linux certainly we can. Can I show process ID? No, I can't show here. Ah, right. Yes. So here, if you see. If you see here all the disk plus work process, and you will see only one disk plus work process has really low PID. That means this process was created way earlier than other processes. So all of them are like 2000, 3000, 4000, 6000, around that bracket, right? Only one of them started way earlier. So when your system start, the PID is allotted based on the um, based based on which process started earlier, the number would be lesser on that for that those process, right? So this process is acting as ABAP dispatcher, and these are basically work processes. So to confirm our understanding, when user sends any request, so it directly hits the above the work process which acting as a above dispatcher. And above dispatcher first see what kind of request is this. Is it a printing request? Is it a is it a um, background request? So background request obviously not done by user. It's triggered by the system. So that goes to disk plus work process, which is above dispatcher. Above dispatcher sees that this request came not from any user but from the system itself as a request of background job running. So it will immediately assign background work process. When it sees that this request came coming from a user, he wants to compute something, wants some data, it will immediately assign dialog work process. Okay, if any user executed, clicked on print button, request come here, it will immediately understand this is a print request. I need to assign full work process. So this is done by the ABAP dispatcher, and once this work process gets the request, whatever request it is, then it sees that, okay, am I do I need any data? So if I need any data, I need to check with NQ server that if this data is already being worked upon by someone else or not. If NQ server gives me go ahead that no, if the data is fine, you can take it. So then it it takes the data and also NQ server and inform NQ server that I am taking the data. Please place a lock on this data. So then NQ server places the lock so that nobody else can get the data, and subsequently this happens, calculation happens and send back result sent back to the user. Okay, so that's how it works. And the NQ server, message server, I already told you that these are not directly participating with the user request, but they are facilitating the system by doing different kind of stuff like NQ server will keep all the logs, message server will keep all the data like how many dialog instance I have inside dialog, in each dialog instance how many work process do I have, among those work processes how many work processes are free, all those things will be available within the message server. So in distributed scenario, we will user send the request to the message server itself, message server then routes the request to the appropriate instance, and obviously in that instance um, there is a ABAP dispatcher running. So the rest of the things are same, but that's how it works basically. And to understand this entire flow very clearly is very critical, because you can now troubleshoot basically, right? Because if your user is not able to get any response, your user simply double clicking and getting an error message, that means this instance is not reachable or this above dispatcher is not running. So you go to the system and see if your dis plus work is running. If it is not green, yellow, red, that means that's a problem. So maybe you can restart the system or restart the instance, or maybe you diagnosis using the logs and everything. We'll see that troubleshooting later, but this is the idea. Okay, so now whatever I have discussed so far, do you have any question? Do you have anything to ask? Anyone? No question? Fine. All right. Now let's go back to the Linux system. Let's confirm the same thing in the Linux system as well. So I'm logging into the application server 192.168.0.50. This is the Linux system. Just to say Linux system. So the same thing which we have seen in the Windows system, we will be going to USR SAP. Inside USR SAP, you will see the system folder, SID folder, and if I go to SID folder, we'll see the uh, central instance and dialog instance. The instance number is little bit different than that previous one. Previous system it was 10 and 11. Now it is 01 and 02. But uh, the idea is pretty clear. ASPS has instance number 01, dialog has instance number 02. Okay, and here as well, if you can see the work processes, um, let me log in into the system. Maybe let me add the system in my SAP GUI. So this is NWD practice server. Maybe NWD 02 is the dialog instance number. 8.0.50. So I have logged into that practice system, and from for Windows system, I was able to show you from the SAP, you know, SAP MMC itself. Why it is asking password? I was able to show you from the SAP MMC, but for Linux, we don't have the SAP MMC. Though you can install the SAP MMC in your own desktop, but it is not possible in the server itself. And then you can create a communication or connection, and you can see from your desktop. That is a different thing. So here, if I log in into the system, if I go to the transaction called SM50, in the SM50 transaction, I can see that how many work processes are there. So here you can see that I have total 19 work process. And now if I go to the system and I execute command df, sorry, ps hyphen ef grep SAP, or maybe dw. So here you can see that number of work process running in the system. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? 20 work process. But here in system it is configured at 19. So that one work process is basically the above dispatcher, and you can confirm from here as well. If you see, um, if you see the um, PID or process ID. Okay, so this is the process ID and this is the parent process ID. So this is the PID for this this plus work process. So this started the first. That's why you see the parent process ID is different. But for all others work process, you will see the first work process PID as parent PID. That means it basically started or initiated by this above dispatcher, right? So that is basically that's how it works. That's how we understand, and obviously the other processes as well. If you can see, yep. So here you can see all the other processes, right? Uh, this is message server, this is NQ server, this is IGS, right? Some other processes are also there as we seen in the Windows system. This is exactly same. Okay. Now, before I move into any other thing, let me just first show you a little bit of basic things about the system, like start, stop, things like that. Just give me a moment. Let me open the. Uh, okay. So now, as we are starting pretty basic, so this would be starting and stopping of the system. So if you go here in this screen itself, you can see that. So user connecting to the dialog instance then connecting to the DB and NQ server, right? So there is no direct connection between central instance and database instance, right? So that's why when we are starting a system, when we are starting a system, but dialog instance has a dependency, right? Dialog instance will connect to the DB to get the data and everything. So when we are starting the system, first we need to start the DB, because without DB, dialog instance will not work, and but central instance can work. So first you can start DB or central instance, doesn't matter, or you can start both together, no matter. But you have to ensure that before you start the dialog instance, this DB is up and running. And when you are shutting down the system, you need to ensure that dialog instance is shut down first, and then you can shut down anything like central instance and DB together, or maybe central instance first or DB later, doesn't matter. So that's what we are going to do now, and I will show you a couple of troubleshooting also during this start and stop procedure. So right now system is running, we are accessing the system. We want to stop the system. So how would you do that? First, you need to switch the user to the SID ADM user of the system. So our system, the SID is NWD ADM, right? So we need to log in into the system using NWD. So I have logged in using root. I can change the user to NWD ADM. So I have used the command su hyphen NWD ADM. So now I am NWD ADM, right? So type command who am I? NWD. So now, and I know that what are the instances I have, like USR, SAP, SID. So I have dialog instance 02 and central instance 01. So we already established that we need to shut down the dialog instance first. So let me check that dialog instance is running or not. Though I can see that it is running because I am working on it. But if I am just directly logged into the system, I never checked it. So I can see that SAP control hyphen NR. NR means the instance number. So I am checking my dialog instance. So instance number would be 02 and function. Sorry, function is get process list. So if you give this command, whatever you saw here in case of Windows, the number of processes running in the central instance and central instance and dialog instance, exactly same thing you can do using this command. SAP control nr instance number, then function is get processes. So here you can see that this plus work is running. This um, status is very critical. So if this is running as green, then it is fine. So all of the things are running. Now I want to stop this uh, dialog instance, right? So I'll give the command stop, and as soon as I give the command stop, it will start shutting down the instance. So I will keep executing that, and you will see that it is going to be down. See here already got this message that application server shut down. So now it is shut down entirely. Gray, that means shut down. I can do the same thing from the message central instance as well. So my central instance is 01. I see message server and key server going green. I can do the same shutdown for the message server and key server. And I can see the same thing. It's shutting down. Both of them are down. Okay. Now my next